Nice. We're in.
We are live.
Cool. I'm seeing it on all fronts. It's all cooking on gas. Wonderful. How's your week been?
It's been amazing. Stress-free.
Sensing a bit of sarcasm there. Or, sarcasm
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. So let me tell you about a mistake that I did. Do you know the meme? Actually, can you screen share for a second and with this meme that I sent in the
Where
chat?
is the meme? Send me it in the private chat.
Yeah. I sent it.
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. So interesting. So you won't see the private chat before joining the chat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So now we know that.
Okay.
Now you
Okay,
see.
you ready for this, guys? It better be friggin' hilarious right now. Okay.
It's a
right.
Webflow thing that happened to me.
Okay. Right. You ready, guys? Prepare to
All right. So you know this from the
Interstellar.
movie Interstellar. This little maneuver gonna cost us 51 years.
Love. No, I don't love this scene. Yeah, go on. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but you know the meme. So I made a mistake yesterday. You know Microsoft Clarity. You use it. It's an amazing tool. You install it on your website to see your analytics.
Okay.
And yesterday I installed it on a client website that is supposed to go live today in a few hours. Need to mention the website was not ready to be published. I was supposed to add this and get things ready for today to publish.
Okay.
So I added Microsoft Clarity app to the website through Webflow, and then Microsoft Clarity tells me publish changes. And I gave it a second to think, like, publish changes. What could it be? It's adding Microsoft Clarity to the website.
Sure.
Well, that button was actually responsible for publishing the unfinished website to the domain, to the main domain. So I just by accident published the entire website unfinished, don't tell this to my client, to the main domain by accident.
How did you built this website on Webflow?
Yes.
So how did Microsoft Clarity have the ability to publish?
Because
Webflow?
as an app, apparently the app has the publishing access.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
So
can you turn that off? Because that's not very.
I don't think so.
No one needs to be publishing a website from inside Microsoft Clarity.
Yeah, I need to check like how this could be prevented. But anyway, I published a website and it's, obviously unfinished. I panicked because it's on the main domain. It's not on the staging. I panicked and, well, not panicked, but it was a stressful 5 minutes. And that's why, like, this little maneuver was like a joke I sent in the Discord chat with my team. I said I made this mistake, so I had to revert to the backup before making changes. Good thing, and do this always, before going into like making big changes, we make a manual update, a manual backup with a name that you can find, because who goes back in date and see, like, just a name. So I found it very fast, revert back to that backup, published it to the main domain, and then went back to the newest backup and then reverted back again and published to the staging. So yeah, it took like 3, 4, 5 minutes, but man, you don't want to see unfinished website for your client on the main domain.
And I know how kind of tempting it is to get something live. Hang on, you're going live on a Friday.
Yeah,
rule number 1.
Yes.
Rule number 2: go live on unsociable hours. Just, it sucks to be awake at midnight or 11 p.m. or 5 in the morning or whatever, but do these things in unsociable hours, because it's just oh God, this stuff sucks when stuff like that happens. I mean, presumably no one had the URL, right? Like, or is
No,
this
it's a main no. So no, it was a live website. That's
so
why it was so
it
stressful.
switched? Yeah, yeah.
So
Heck, you know
they-
what though? You know what? This stuff happens. No one lost a limb. I
no,
was working for a company. Here we go. I was working for a company called TalkTalk. They're a pretty big telecommunications company. And I took down their entire website by publishing some broken code. And we can still leave that up.
okay.
We can still leave this up.
Yeah. So you had a maneuver as well.
I had a maneuver. I've forgotten exactly what it was, but I was responsible for implementing a complete re-architecture of their accessibility. I needed to make their whole website accessible. And I was one of like the only people who could actually do it. And I pushed some code that was just, broken. And it took down their website. All for a matter of 30 seconds, but probably a little bit longer. But because they have proper rollback systems in place and all the rest of it, it was a lot easier for me to whatever. But Jesus Christ. And I was like, I can't remember if I told, and I must have done, but I think it was a case of like, do you know what? No one's dead.
Yeah.
We're not saving lives here, and it's
But
great
did they
to have.
know?
I think I can't remember. I think I recall doing some sort of like, what happened, why did it happen, and whatever. But the systems were in place. It was human error, and I'm just a dumbass. That's all it was, It was human error. So the good thing about the debriefs is that you can say, again, if they didn't have a simple rollback thing, I literally just went into GitLab or wherever the deployment service was. I just went in, just said undo. Everything was in place. There's nothing technically, maybe some tests or something, or some sort of, double confirm. Maybe they shouldn't have given me friggin' admin rights, but it is what it is. We're not saving lives here, so no sweat. Does the client know? Your
Sorry,
client?
what? No, because I did literally everything in 4 or 5 minutes, but I think I will tell them like once we have a meeting, because we are like communicating right now as per email, but after launch, I will say, guys, just full clarity. Okay, no pun intended. But I went live one day early for 5 minutes. And this is a full rebrand. That's why we wanted to keep it quite separate.
Yeah. And as a debrief, if we're gonna call this that, like, definitely try and remove publishing rights from, so there's one source of truth sort of thing. Unless your pipeline is going to be, we always go through whatever that Microsoft tool is. As we always go through that, that's going to be our play. Remove blooming publishing rights from that bloody app. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know whether that's a feature you can turn on and off, but
because the app has the right to add the code, like custom code, to your website, and that's what the app does. When you sign in through the app and everything, I believe this is just an iframe probably, or something very similar. And then it adds the custom code that you would manually add. It just adds it. But this save changes, or like publish changes.
Yeah.
It shouldn't publish it to the main domain.
No. And did it give you some sort of secondary warning as well?
Yeah. Or like show me the option, or just tell me by publishing changes, save changes or publish changes, Anyway.
You're gonna ask me how my week has gone?
Yeah. How is your week? Have you put on any content in the new format out?
What new format?
The Instagram format. Have you seen like the super thin format?
Oh no, I saw something to do with that. No, I don't. My personality rejects trends, and I'm in the worst industry, being a, let's call it influencer, let's call it content person. I just reject trends. I'm like, oh God, doing the same shit.
Well, we make AI content.
Yeah, but we're not copying. We're not regurgitating stuff. Like we're not
True.
jumping on any kind of regurgitated thing. We're just doing what we like. My week is fantastic. Do you want to know why?
Yeah, tell me.
As people trickle in, you might have noticed a new background. You might have noticed a little new logo. We're growing.
Yeah,
We're getting big boys.
we are in the big boys club with a new branding, with a proper branding. Shout out to our designer Ryan. He's just amazing in taste. And maybe another time we show this once we like fully showcase everything. Next week maybe we can show it. We went through a few directions, and then Ryan said like, let me do this the way I do it, and then he came up with this, and we both got really happy with it.
Yeah. I love the green. Green's my favorite color, so that's good. But yeah, we'll be rolling out a bunch of stuff over the week and trickling out, but this is I guess the official launch. Can't hide it now.
Color of grass, because we are not developers. We touch a bunch of grass every day.
So yeah, what else has been? I mean, it's been a slow start to the week because I was in a different literally a different country. I was in Wales and then traveling back to London. But I've just been building. I'm helping a mate take his Vibe Code app and build it into something production worthy, which has been really, really cool. We've just added a Slack bot now, so you can literally recall things from Slack. So I've learned a little bit about Slack integrations now. What else have I done?
Are you like cleaning up his code, or like you are expanding?
No, I'm not cleaning up his code. And well, yes and no, to be honest. I mean, because I'm becoming more familiar with, certainly because it was started in Replit, and I'm quite familiar with how Replit likes to do things. So I, as a kind of sort of pro bono offer, I said, look, let me get familiar with it. Let me clean it up. Let me just figure out where all the files are, and all that kind of stuff. And I did that just as an offering, and it kind of get me up to speed. And I cleaned a few things up, and but ultimately, yeah, it's kind of, I've got a good system with Claude Code where I get it to always fix TypeScript errors and get it to always write tests. Test one's a bit funny, and I've got a really interesting sponsor in my next video next week, which I'm quite excited to share with people. That's the thing, from a content creator sponsor perspective. Like I'm really doubling down on tools that I genuinely am passionate about and genuinely think my audience would find interesting. I've been quite brutal with a few sponsors coming in. This is just me learning to be an influencer, a content creator.
I mean, if you can be genuine with it, this is the right way of doing it, and you don't have to follow any trends. Like I don't just some of us do.
Exactly, right? Gosh, designers, you're terrible.
I saw this trend with the new like 5000 by 1080p trend. It's just a new size. It's a new size that Instagram supports, and I don't know why. It's like, if you see it in the feed, it's a thin, like extremely thin line, but whatever, people jumped on it. And we did also a video on Instagram showcasing our work. And all I wanted to say regarding this is, in today's age where we have so much AI and we have like so much, we talked about it last week, that the web is dead in its old form. How do you showcase your work? Whatever your work is, how do you showcase your work? Where are people? People are on social media. So how do you get in front of their eyes? Because we don't have SEO on Instagram. What we have is trends. So you gotta follow trends if you want to get in front of people's eyes. And who are like the trend makers and trendsetters are these like new generation of people and creators on Instagram and these similar apps, Gen Z, if you wish, making all these techie edits or whatever, like some stuff that we might not understand. But yeah, I saw this and I immediately asked our editor, hey, can you create something? And he did, and we got 10K views on it already since last night. And I think this is the way that we can showcase our work. If there is no other way.
But you can't see anything.
True. Well, for as much as in general, in this case, yes, you're right. You see a little bit. You see a tiny bit.
I think it reminds me of when HD was available on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it first became available on YouTube. And I was making content I had a theater company and we were making content. And I was like, we should put HD in the title. You need to put HD in the title because that's what people are doing. And it didn't give us anything. It didn't give us any kind of reach or whatever. And the thing is, it's something for you to consider, but what's that really doing for your brand? Like you're just one of many. And you know what they say? It doesn't quite work because I'm British and we say niches. We don't say niches. The riches are in the niches.
Oh.
And if you're, I've got some stuff to share offline that, some other good stuff that happened to me this week. Well, today, in fact, actually, like, where I'm very much speaking to a very specific, very small number of people, and you're able to just cut right through. But to each his own.
Yeah. Well, I have a call after the live. Somebody booked a call in my calendar, and they found me on Instagram.
Very good. Well, it different. You got to be comfortable with how you're putting yourself out there. You got to be comfortable with how people are finding you, who's finding you. Let's hope it's a good one. You reminded me, actually. Someone contacted me through my website today, which this week, which was kind of odd. But I've added them through LinkedIn to say I received a contact, because it wasn't an email, it was a contact message, and it was a normal message. It was like, hey, I really like this bit of work, whatever. It seems authentic. But I've been the pessimist. I added him on LinkedIn, just said, look, I'm adding you on here just to do my due diligence, just to check that this wasn't spam.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard back from him, but that was quite I'd never expect people to find me through the website. I'm very much not a cold outreach, but I will speak to people and work my way through individuals as opposed to kind of whatever. But anyway, other than that, it's been a pretty busy week in AI.
Yeah, I see. We have a list to go through, so maybe we should.
Wow. Do you want to read your little intro thing?
Yeah, sure. So this week we have a device that can read your thoughts. Welcome to everybody's nightmares. Google added Gemini to Google Chrome, a new AI right in your Chrome. And with Notion, now you can, instead of like doing things yourself, you can just tell it to do things for you with their new agent. All of this and more in today's episode. This is Command AI. I'm Kabarza.
And I am Sam. And this is a week in AI in design and dev.
Awesome. We have a long list to go through, starting with Gemini in Chrome. I didn't know this until you added it, and I'm really happy to see it.
Wow. Comet and Dia have now got an arch nemesis. I mean, Opera have got one. Neon, I think it's called. But, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Google finally caved and to the AI Browser Awards, and Gemini is now available inside of Chrome. But it has some catches. It does everything you expect. It's not doing anything massively new. It's not, you can summarize pages, you can ask it questions, you can reference tabs, all of this stuff we've come to expect from an AI browser. Unfortunately, it's US only, which is a bit crap. I downloaded it. I tried to use it. I was like, where is it? And I was like, oh, it's US only, which is a bit of a shame. And there's the big selling point for all this, which again, maybe I think it's maybe a skill issue, but it doesn't quite have the agentic doing things for you just yet. And I feel like that's like the thing that you need to have. Like when you launch, you need to have that agentic, because everyone can summarize. You know, we've got plenty of tools to summarize web pages now, but it is what it is. And there's this the one new feature that I liked. Maybe it's here somewhere. It's a recall. So you can say like something like, "What was I looking at?" Something to do with this, this, and this. Talk through, get help, master complexity. Where is it? I mean, need I say more? It's a recall feature. So that was quite a nice little
That's
addition that they've
interesting.
had.
Well, it's interesting, but this is like your history through AI. That's actually a good feature.
And I wonder how far back it goes, because of course it's Google. Of course it's got your history,
Everything.
you know, whatever. So I wonder if you can even go back, you know, what was I looking at 2 years ago? And start digging into your entire history. But yeah, no idea. And just because we're in Europe, I'm in Europe.
Can we do it
Maybe
with
that
a VPN? Can we access it with a VPN?
as in not from a accessibility standpoint. I'm talking about how far our data goes back because of GDPR.
Yeah.
Do they remove it after a year or something like this? I don't know, but we'll see.
We'll see. Can we access it with VPN?
Oh, I was going to try, but I'll probably end up dropping out of the call. So that's
fine.
Probably works on your account settings, right? And where your account is set up. But give it a go. Give it a go. See how it is.
Yeah, I'll try it.
The only thing... I'll go on.
Yeah. You're saying this huge company, Atlassian, paid what, $600-700 million for Dia, but now they could have it for free?
Why? Oh, what? Because of the AI and Chrome?
Yeah.
Like
I was just teasing.
Did they say anything about needing a subscription to? Because they actually have like a $4 subscription. I don't know if you knew that.
They added like some student type of subscription.
It's not even that. Let me see if I can find it. Gemini price.
I'm also chatting with the audience here on my Instagram. They are saying like the audience is Farsi speaking. Why are we speaking English? So can you speak Farsi?
I don't even know how to say yes in Farsi, unfortunately.
Yes would be are.
Are. Well, what's no? Because I can't.
No is nah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking. Here we go. So I'm just looking on Google now. Oh no, I just want a prices page. I just want a prices page. But you get it in Workspace. Oh, I think you do actually, because I remember seeing something you need Workspace, and you get it in Workspace and stuff like that. So it still might be charged.
Oh,
like I think we're far from people giving AI away for free, to be honest. As we'll get into in the gold rush later on. But yeah, the only thing here is that the only person to express some sort of concern on safety is Claude, because they're waiting to release their extension. And they're not doing it just yet because you can, of course, worm in a few prompts into the source code of your website, which it will then, you know, I haven't seen any evidence of this, but it's just a very risky thing to tiptoe around, where you can sort of manipulate an agent by writing prompts in your source code. So now this is getting more mainstream. It's in a browser that is probably the most used browser in the world. I mean, I don't know whether you know that, which maybe
it should be Chrome or maybe Safari. Safari is also, but no, it's probably Chrome. You should know this as developer.
I know. I'm getting it up right now. What is the most used browser on Earth? 2025.
Google Chrome. Oh yeah, Google Chrome is dominating.
There you go. Look at that. I mean, I don't know when this was created, but whatever. I don't think it's far from the.
I see something similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if you use Chrome on if you use Chrome on iPhone, does it counted as Chrome or Safari? Because the engine
I
is
would.
Safari.
It's true, actually. Yeah, I reckon it counts as Safari.
Yeah.
Because
So for anybody who doesn't know, if you use any browser on your iPhone or your iPad, no matter what browser you are using, it's just Safari under the hood, which sucks. With this Gemini, what I'm interested in, I mean, it could be the case with others as well. Can I ask it with a prompt to do something in the console log, in the developers tool?
So a little look. I don't think so. I don't think it has access to the
But
developers log.
that would be kind of crazy
Dog,
and cool
hello.
in the future.
It would be, but yeah, it's just searching.
Yeah, it can tell you what to do, but it doesn't do it for you. But if it could do that, you could build kind of like tools on the fly, right? Let's say you want to do something, data manipulation. You can just ask it to do it for you. For example, with Instagram, we talked about the comment system. Like I could ask it to do that. So kind of like this is still kind of passive for me. This agent is kind of like works passively in a way that it's not, it reads, it tells you something, but it doesn't quite interact with the page. But imagine telling it to do things for you.
Like what?
For example, just scroll down the page and add this to that would be something very simple, but it could go into more complex things. Anything from, for example, the one that I mentioned in Instagram, like doing the commenting things, maybe clean it up, maybe do a summary of what people are interacting. It could it like learn something from a YouTube video in the future? Learn something from a YouTube video and then do it for you in Webflow or like in any tool that you use?
You've
Like
lost
just
me
click
now.
on, yeah. Too much into the future.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, I think that's I'm still stuck on the console thing, but I think technically you should be able to do that. But that was one of the first things I tried, which was take this information and put it in the CMS in Webflow, and it just could not figure it out. But that's the
with the
agentic
MCP?
capability. No. That was just having Webflow and one browser tab open and the information I wanted to transfer in another browser tab. I said, take it from that, put it in there, and it couldn't figure it out.
But they can't like interact yet.
It can, but it just couldn't figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, let's move on. Should we talk? Just because it just seems quite boring. Do you want to talk about? Should we talk about alignment? The OpenAI.
Well, yeah, I understand that it sounds boring, but maybe I'm quite geeky about it, and I have a philosopher friend. We do talk about this, like in our free time, unpaid for no. We consider this we consider this fun. So alignment. What is alignment with AI? Alignment is making sure that what the AI wants is aligned with what we human find good. I'm very simplifying it. Yeah.
And it kind of does what you tell it to, right? So OpenAI think they've solved this problem. Actually, let me read this. OpenAI think they finally solved the problem of AI is doing what you want it to do. And this is a research paper they've done with Apollo research here. And they've got some good stats. They really do. It's still not perfect. Where am I looking now? Here, O3 down from 13%, which is quite high, down to 0.4. And O4 Mini 8.7 down to 0.3. So it's actually really good.
Reduction in what?
In like
disobey.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
Convert actions across diverse tests.
Can you zoom in, please, a little bit more, because it will be difficult to see and get rid of that cookie banner. That's something I want from my AI agents to do. Just immediately when I open a
Some
website,
browsers do that, you know. Some
like
browsers do
just remove the cookie banner.
that. What were you going to say?
So alignment is, from what I understand, is not about making the model to obey you. It's more about aligning our interests, considering that they will eventually, well, we think they will become full-on conscious beings. We want to align. We don't want them to be like humans. We don't care about them. Let's just get rid of them. We want our interests to be aligned, and not artificially, not by making not by making them saying that, oh, your entire family's life is in danger, with the what's it called, like the system prompt. No, in a genuine way, making them aligned with us. So is this that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's so there was a comparison made here around the fact that, well, I mean, the way they've solved it is by addressing how it came to the solution it came to, right? Because it's got because they've got a habit of faking alignment. It's like when you have a test, you've got to show your reasoning, and if the reason, you might have the answer correct, the answer might be right, but if your reasoning is wrong, then you don't get the grade. And so they've taken that approach, and they actually look into the reasoning and figure out whether it's actually done the right thing. Now, this is through reinforced learning and stuff like that. The interesting thing is, rare but serious failures remained, and evaluation results may be confounded by increased situational awareness, e.g., where models get better at recognizing when they're being evaluated. So it's like the Volkswagen thing. It's like when it knows it's being tested, it then ups its, ability to almost fake alignment and make sure that its reasoning is doing the correct thing, that is, it's
This is
reasoning about
incredible.
things. So that's quite funny, because this is the thing: you can't predict AI. They're so undeterministic, and this is what people need to understand sometimes. And yeah,
this is like a very important note, by the way. I wanted to talk about this before, like, we started the main topics. Maybe this is a good point to just touch on it. Most people use AI the wrong way. They think they can ask any question. Specifically, I'm talking about like getting responses that must be, very correct and objective. Most people don't know that AI is not deterministic with that. So, for example, if I ask something with, tech details about a tech product, you might get a respond. I might get a different respond for the same question, because it's just how it works. Of course, with like more data, it gets more exact, but it's just not deterministic. A good way of testing for that is that, do you know, like, the multiplication with AI? So if you ask any AI to multiply two big numbers, they get it so that the beginning of the result is correct, the end is correct, but the middle is not correct. And the way it works, it just has it has developed a sense for mathematics, and it knows roughly it should be around this. So the ending is this, it's odd numbers and whatnot. And so this number sounds correct, but it's not correct. And you might get a different result than me. And it's the same thing when you ask for something specific. You need to know that these AIs are just like giving you guidance and like general information, but you cannot take everything like for 100% truth.
Yeah. And I think this is a bigger discussion around like how AI fits. It was something I wanted to bring up last week, but we didn't really have the space for it. Is like how, like, we're learning how to use AI right now. We're just throwing it at everything, and we're trying to figure out where it fits in our world. And as I become more knowledgeable about AI and I use it more, it's being relegated more to an assistant. Like, I mean, that sounds stupid, but like a complementary low level leg up, a boost up, and
Yeah.
I need to. I'm relying on it less to just do everything, and more it actually just doing things to enable me, to empower me to do whatever it is that I need to do. And I think we will. The people vote with their wallets. I've said that in the past, and people, when it comes from a content standpoint, like people will just not watch stuff that's AI generated, and people,
Yeah,
more
mostly.
people, less and less people will do it. People will gravitate to authentically generated. Well, not authentically, like I put my LinkedIn post. My LinkedIn posts are essentially just a summarization of these chats. Like the ideas are ours. The ideas are human. The stuff we talk about has mistakes in it. I just get AI, just like I would ask an employee. Can you just go through the episode and just write up some posts? It's all I've done. But I've just got an AI to do it. There's nothing artificial about it. It doesn't bring up any points that weren't raised.
Mm-hmm.
It just combines them all together based on what we say. Anyway, well, that all being said, I think we're all just in this excited period at the moment where we're getting AI to do everything for us, but we'll start to realize that it's not very good at doing most things.
Yeah. Well, what you said, I'm going to talk about this with my friend later on tonight. Hopefully, I get to talk. I have to ask him what is like value, how we define value. I know it's a very fundamental question, because with what you said, like why do people don't watch AI generated content? We talked about this before, or read it. I believe we do fundamentally value effort. And if something signals a low effort, we just don't like it.
And if it's the same stuff we've heard time and time again, because again, AI is derivative. And if you're saying, write me a script about this topic, and it's just not proposing anything new or interesting or novel, then we're just going to switch off. We're just not going to, it's going to be like, I won't say who it is, but someone who is has started a new YouTube channel. I was like, okay, he's getting loads of views and blah, blah, blah. I watched it. He's not presenting anything new. And it's like, okay, I've watched 2 of your videos now. Nothing new, just presenting the same shit that everyone else is doing. And it's like, okay, people are attracted to new ideas, new concepts. Even if we speak our mind, we put our hearts on the line when we do these episodes. We give people something to get angry about. That was another thing I was thinking about. People love to get angry at something. At least we're creating emotion. We might be wrong, but we're putting ourselves out there to be contended with, and we're creating debate, for lack of a better word. So I don't really know where we're going with this, but I think that AI is certainly finding its place as something that I can be a better person with AI if I use it as a step up rather than a crutch,
Yeah. And this is a good point. And I do the same. I just like to give that even to people that I work with. So to my team, I'm like, yeah, AI, and be like, you do the AI, like use AI. And so but essentially it comes down to the same thing. AI is being an assistant to us.
And it's good to see, I don't want to just I don't want to be hypocrite and use AI, see how far you can push it. My next video, I summarize it, coming out next Thursday. I literally, at the end, I say, this was my experiment to see how far I can push it, because now I can rein it back, right? And now I can rein in and understand its limits to then balance that out. Our work is going to be so much better if we don't just let AI do everything for us.
I agree.
GPT-5 Codex.
Yes. So what's up with the new GPT-5?
What's up? So the meaning of OpenAI's Codex drifts further into ambiguity by giving us developers exactly what we wanted, which is GPT-5 Codex. Now, GPT-5 obviously bursted onto the scene, and it was very exciting, but it didn't quite, for me personally, I used it very quickly rejected it. It didn't quite hit the mark in terms of its coding capabilities. But now they've released the specific Codex one that's faster, more reliable, better at real-time collaboration, basically a GPT-5 that's specifically tuned for writing code. And it's available for everyone who's paying for GPT, which is the pricing on GPT is a bit annoying because you've got $20, which is okay for casual developers, or you've got $200 for pro developers. Well, I'm sitting happy in the middle with $100 on Claude Code. Anyway, ran over. And it kind of dynamically adjusts its thinking time from seconds to several hours, which is what we want sometimes. I don't know whether I could trust an AI to work for several hours on my behalf, but whatever, it's all good. So, and I did have a little look. It's available in Cursor too, so you can just select it as your cursor.
It adds to Cursor kind of like a tab.
No. I'm talking about, sorry, no. What you're talking about is using it in the CLI. I'm talking about actually in the little drop down where you can select the model. It's available as a model.
I see.
In the chat window. So that's what I mean. Using the API pricing. But yeah, of course, yeah. If you used it in the terminal, it's got its own thing. I can't actually confirm that. Are you confirming that?
I'm not sure. No.
Okay, fine. Yeah, because when you type Claude into the terminal of Cursor, it will install its own app, and then you can use Claude natively. And I thought that's what you meant, but no, this is in the drop up. So
yeah, that's what I want.
There you go. Yeah, you're right. It is there.
Yeah, I tried that one. I did try that one.
Yeah, but I do want to use the Codex CLI. I wanted to cancel my Claude Code thing this last month and just trial Codex for a month and see how it's going, because I do like to keep on my toes about what's going on. I don't like to just stick with one tool, as you probably know. That's kind of what I've made a name for myself with. Just reading this now. I need this. I need Agents MD to be a norm. We'll get into a nice little update from GitHub later on, which tackles this problem. But Agents.md, if we click on this as a link, we're getting off piece now. This is actually just like a format, a convention, let's call it, that I think all of these bloody tools should use. I'm just, so there we go. There's Codex. I'm just looking for Claude Code, which it doesn't use. I'm looking for, Gemini does. So basically Claude, Anthropic, can you please adopt the agents.md file? Because otherwise you've got your Claude MD file, you've got agents.md file, you've got the Gemini.md file, you've got all these MD files like flying around, and people use different CLIs, different coding environments. It's just been nice to just use the one file. I want to try and combat this by, in my Claude MD file, saying look in the agents.md file, and just having that as the only thing in my Claude.md file. I might actually add that as a rule to say always check for agent.md files. But anyway, so yeah, where were we? Sorry, just went a bit off piece there.
No, that's interesting. I didn't know about it, but it's essentially a file to define your project, but for an agent.
Define your project, define rules, define instructions. It's effectively a prompt that runs with every request. You can, and then it takes up context and all the rest of it. So you don't just want to pump everything into it, but it's nice just to be able to say, this is what the project's about. This is some considerations to have, and all the rest of it. So yeah, quite nice. I haven't used it extensively yet. I've just set it in Cursor as my model, so I'm going to use it through the API thing. But I would like to dig into Codex, because people were enjoying GPT-5. I personally didn't get along with it, and that just goes to show that people just get on differently with different AIs. The way you like to word things, the way you like to phrase things, just may or may not work with the model that you're trying out, So again, indeterministic.
Yeah, true.
So yeah. Should we get on with the mind reading device?
Oh yeah, that one is creepy, man.
So I mentioned this last week, actually. I mentioned this mind reading device because obviously you got Neuralink, and I mentioned last week that there is a tool that's been released. I thought it wasn't. I thought it was external. Basically, it could read your voice. Okay, let me just get the article up. Let me just get the Stanford. Here we go. So now the voice is in your head. No, hang on.
The voice is in my head. The voice is.
Now even the voices in your head are no escape for Stanford engineers. They built an interface that can read your inner speech. Mental. So they've created a module. It is an implant. So as I say, I thought it was, I thought it was just something that can just read your voice. It gets crazy. This gets crazy. It works by capturing neural signals from the motor cortex and interpreting both attempted and imagined speech using AI. So this is the motor cortex is kind of something that, I said about the wristband.
Yes.
Kind of can be slightly ahead because you give those subtle clues before you do something in your muscle. It's the same thing in your motor cortex. So you can basically just think and it will read what you're saying. The crazy part of this is that it doesn't just constantly read your thoughts. Oh, and by the way, this is great for people with motor neuron deficiencies and things like that, people who can't speak and whatever. So it's a speech to text thing, speech to text thing. So you can just display some, messages and stuff like that. So it doesn't just listen to your thoughts all the time. It listens for a mind password. So something like chitty chitty bang bang. If you think the word chitty chitty bang bang, that's when the device activates, and that's when you'll start to get the thing. So it's pretty cool. I think I saw some stats somewhere. 70% of people or something like this found, like, it's not great for everyone, but 98% accuracy in detecting correct password and rejecting imposters, which is crazy. It's super cool.
Crazy.
And I think that's the real groundbreaking thing, this password aspect. But yeah, it's cool. The only thing I'm just reading my notes here. Implants successfully decoded up to 74% of imagined sentences. The only thing that I think of this is that, if you know your password, like, if could I convince you to say your password? Do you know how you say, like, don't think of a pink elephant? And then it just forces you to think of a pink elephant. Like, what if can I hijack this by, like, telling you not to think of your password? Like, whatever your password is, just don't think about it. And then it unlocks, and then I've unlocked all your thoughts.
Exactly. Well, fun. So password is a funny example because I don't know my master password. I use a password manager like every sane human should.
They lock.
I type it pretty much not every day, but like a few times.
It's muscle memory.
It's muscle memory. I can think about it, but it's rather hard. It's much easier for me just to get on my keyboard and just use my so my fingers know my password better than my brain.
Yeah,
kind of. It feels that way. So this device, it sounds creepy, and the examples that you said are like insane. Like thinking about something will reveal it to the third party trying to read it, and it's kind of like a nightmare, but at the same time it's super advanced. Of course, it's going to help so many people, and in good cases, I'm optimistic in general. Hey, we can do telepathy. It's called telepathy, right? Yeah, we'll be able to just but it will be awkward. We'll be just looking at each other and just nodding and just the future. Finally, I don't have to move my mouth to talk or to say something. I can just look at you and be like,
because effectively, if you've got something reading your thoughts to know what to type, you've got to send that through to a display, an interface or something. All you really need to do is intercept that with a Bluetooth, send that over to another Bluetooth, and I suppose you need a way to actually inject it into someone's brain.
Yeah,
right?
so it's the read and write, and this is the same thing with Neuralink, the one from Elon Musk. With Neuralink, you can do read and write because
right.
Yes, that's how they do it.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the writing is when you see, like, you can install cameras for people who are blind, and yeah, they can receive. So it's not just reading what the brain thinks. The brain can be a receiver, and it's the same with. They actually have humans. They tested it on humans that can type on their phone, on their, like, just their iPhone, the regular iPhone, with Neuralink faster than any human can do with finger.
Yeah, because I think quicker than I can speak, and I stumble over my words quite often.
Same.
So it's like, that's crazy. Surely MVP would be just a little Bluetooth thing in your ear that it's text to speech. So I think, and it just projects it into your kind of thing. Why do we need it to inject? I mean, by the way, this will solve the learning problem. If I can just like inject a friggin' how to fly a plane to my head, I would absolutely.
Well, we're talking about what's it called? Neo downloading how to
exactly
do certain things in.
If you can write, if your brain becomes an ingest mechanism, then
well, that's the thing. Can it hold the information after receiving it? Because when I said writing, it's not permanently writing it. It's the neurons in your brain capturing whatever that is transmitted to them, reading it, but it's not, internalizing it, for lack of better words. So I don't know how that will work.
And a big part of learning is literally you doing it, and the process of learning is how it remains. So it will be interesting when they figure it out, like how many people actually remember it. It could be dead in the water because the very act of learning cannot be simulated. It can't be bypassed. It needs to be ingested in multiple different mediums and stuff like that. But it goes down to what I was saying about that video last week. We just don't know the societal impact of some of this stuff until it's really embedded itself, and it will manifest itself in weird and wonderful ways. It's crazy.
Yeah, Arash is saying that it's reminding him of Inception, and that is like very true. And imagine, like, you've seen Inception, right? The movie.
Yeah.
The whole idea of Inception, how can I say this without spoiling it? I'm not trying to spoil it. It's essentially creating an idea, or like putting an idea in somebody else's head so that they think it's their idea.
Yeah.
That's
well, you're not spoiling it. You're just telling
that's the concept. Yeah.
Yeah, the concept.
And that's like huge. Like, it's not just talking, it's not just communicating words, it's communicating ideas. And imagine we will be able to do it faster than what we are doing right now. I think this might be even more important than the learning aspect of it. I don't know how important the learning will be, like capturing the thoughts and retaining them. But what is really interesting to me is like the speed of it. Do you think in words, in ideas, or like do you have like visual thinking? Can you imagine something in your head in 3D, render it? Yeah, me too. Sure. Like when I talk to like our 3D guy on our team, like when he says something, I'm like, oh yeah, I love this. I'm rendering this real time in my head. And now imagine being able to communicate this with somebody.
Some people can't do that at all.
Many people can't do this.
Imagine stuff. I wonder if it's not a disability, but you know what I mean? I wonder if that's actually, I don't know how widespread is that inability to recognize whether it's a normal thing to imagine things, but crazy, wild.
Yeah. So Arash, I mean, like storing it in the brain, because this is different. Like the storing, I don't know about this. I should do some research.
You should do some
research. About like the storing part. I'm sure there are people doing that type of work as well. We need to figure to see who's doing what. Something interesting on what you said about the the band and the pulse that goes through, and the kind of like the cues that you give before doing it, that you can read it before. There is a very interesting episode of Mindfield from Vsauce. You know Vsauce. Hey,
Yeah.
Vsauce, Michael here. Where? Down here. It's one
I
of
don't
his
know
videos.
that. That's a bit too. It's a bit too
Anyway,
nerdy. That was a bit too.
it's a bit too nerdy. Yes,
Yeah.
that's how I learned English
Yeah.
with Vsauce. So there's an episode of Mindfield where he has one of these like receptors basically reading his brain, and he has like two buttons or like one button to push, and he has to push the button before it becomes red. So the button is green, and if he pushes it while it's green, he wins. That's okay. But the moment the button turns red, if he pushes it, he loses. He must push the button when it's still green. So, so when does the button go red? The button goes red when he thinks about pushing it. So it's very frustrating because he thinks of pushing it, and sometimes he tries to not think about it, to actively think about something else and push it anyway. But before pushing it, the brain gives the cue, the device reads it, and the button turns red, and he cannot win. He cannot pushes the button while it's green, even if he tries to not think about it. So
yeah, that's crazy. How did they? What device was this to read his brain?
I believe it's just like something that they put on his head. It's one of the episodes of Mindfield. I can send it later on. It's amazing. Like Mindfield, I'm rewatching some of the episodes. I love it. Vsauce is amazing. Yeah.
That reminded me as well. Like, have you seen the videos of the orangutans? How amazing their memory recall is. They can be shown. Basically, there's this thing that a screen that will show just all over it will just be numbers 1 to 16 or something, 1 to 20.
Yeah.
And it will flash. All of these numbers will appear. And if they got to tap it in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 20. And if they get it right, they get a nut or whatever, a bit of food.
Yeah, I watched it last week.
You've seen it?
Yeah, the one from Vsauce.
I don't know. I'm just saying this is just something.
Vsauce has an episode on that as well, on Mindfield, and he goes head to head against a monkey, and he loses it to the monkey. He has no chance.
Is this memory recall though? Is this memory? Is this the memory?
Yes. So there is this this idea that we gained we gain this like long form memory where we can remember things and even like transfer it to the next generation, right? We can tell a story, we can write a book, and information can live through generations. Monkeys and chimpanzees, they didn't evolve this because they stayed on the trees, and we left the trees and we needed to deal with the new challenges. That's how we essentially ended up having this long-term memory. And chimpanzees, they kept the short form, so they have a very strong short form memory.
Cognitive trade-off hypothesis.
Yes.
Well, this was 6 years ago. This wasn't last week. This was 6 years ago.
I rewatched it last week.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's just amazing. Like literally a flash of a screen, and it just remembers all the order and gets its nut.
Yeah.
You got to get your
and
nut.
It's really difficult, like for a human to get even 3 numbers.
Yeah.
That was 6 years ago. And by the way, this is when I bought YouTube Premium. I bought YouTube Premium to watch these videos because these were a part of YouTube Premium.
Yeah, I can see their YouTube original.
But they are now free for public. And I kept the YouTube Premium. I'm still paying.
There you go. I think I did something similar. I think I loved Marques Brownlee's like retro tech series.
They were also good. Good.
So I think I bought that, and that was it then. And then I found out, I've got YouTube Music as well. So I've been paying, whatever it is.
And now people are talking in the chat about the Space Odyssey 2001.
Oh, wow.
You've seen that, right?
I can't do that for you, David. Is that good?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't do that for you, David.
That's really good. That's actually like goosebump level. Yeah, that movie is insane.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Long though. It's a long film. That's my only thing.
Yeah, it has like one of the longest intros. I think it's like 5 or 6 minutes without even a word being.
Yeah, they're dancing around the obelisk or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. Should we move on? Quick one, next one.
It was a long one, but it was fun. It was fun.
So,
Mind reading.
Yeah. So our old friend Pinegrow is using their AI assistant, which now works with existing ChatGPT and Claude Code subscriptions. And, this is a cool feature. I don't anticipate many Pinegrow users are in the audience right now. It is, if you don't know what Pinegrow is, it is a, dare I say, open source. It's kind of like no code tool that you run on your local machine, and it generates the files, and you can do whatever you want with those files. And it's intended to be like a WordPress theme builder, but you can just build static websites with it, stuff like that. Very, very powerful because it's completely limitless. It's surprising how abstracted Webflow is compared to Pinegrow, because you can create any element. You can see on the left-hand side here is any element. You can add whatever. Very, very powerful. They have an AI assistant, and you can use it with Claude Code or Codex, which is actually really nice. I take some credit for this because I was in the forum saying, look, I'm using Claude Code to edit my Pinegrow projects, but I need it to like detect that I'm using it. But the reason why I raised this is, one, it's really cool. And I think that you can, whilst it's a very ugly UI, that's the biggest.
I wanted to say that. I want to say Pinegrow is
watching
this.
It's so WordPress, it hurts. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's primarily used as a WordPress tool. And I don't doubt that most of their clients are WordPress people, so they want to have that continuity between them, so it probably works in their favor just to make everything look WordPress. But I think it could sorely do with the UI overall.
They need a whole new UI. Lift, this is not it. Pinegrow, if you're watching this, contact me. We can design something. This is not it.
But the reason why I raised this is just because, like, obviously Webflow Conf was last week, and they've got that AI assistant, and like, whether you like it or not, you miss out on so much by being this closed source system. Webflow have got to develop their own AI agent, and it lacks the ability, and it's this interoperability between open source and what makes things better is that I don't even need to be in Pinegrow anymore. I don't really need to care about the UI anymore, because I'm just using the CLI. I'm just using the interface sort of thing. And it's such a shame that, well, not a shame, because obviously different things will work for different people. But when you are, I guess it's just that closed source thing of like being locked in to something. You don't get access to Claude Code inside of Webflow, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is something that I talked about last week, by the way. I asked you if Framer being more of proprietary tool is in disadvantage when it comes to AI being able to build structures and pull in from other sources. So this is speaking to that, and it answers my question now today again in a new way. So it seems like something like Pinegrow, and something that can work with open source, obviously can pull in anything and put it together with AI. This is for the future to see like how good the AI will get. And for today, like Pinegrow, when I see that UI, I'm like, get me out. I'm sorry. I care about my own experience. I am a user, and my user experience matters. And Pinegrow, it looks painful to look at their UI.
I'm obviously like, I'm just a different breed. Like, I watched a video just before this stream. I'm just looking about this just to remind myself. And long story short is it was an AI guy, but he was like, if you don't get your UI right, then you will fail. And I'm sorry, my immediate response to that was, I doubt you're not very product minded. Like, I go on, as long as it works, as long as it gets the job done, you will, that's the most important thing. Goes back to the tool that I showed you this morning, and you were like, well, you said it doesn't look as bad as you thought it would.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's functional as AF. Like, that's all the clients really care about. They care that it works, that it gets the job done. The UI comes very secondary. And I guess we just need to be, who are we talking to here? Which audience are we talking to, and how, where UI plays a role in that. But I'm definitely under the thing of, like, if it gets the job done, if it earns you money, we can procrastinate on something not being great, UI, or it's this and it's that. But if you can build something and then the next day someone's giving you money for it, you would not complain about the UI. But I don't know, different strokes, different folks at the end of the day. But
I agree. If it can make money, the financial incentive is probably like the biggest incentive.
For sure. But yeah, and to answer your question that that you asked last week as well, like, AI work better on information they're trained on. So in answer to your question about proprietary and this and that, I mean, it might not have the nuances on how frame are put together, because it's abstracted and they do this and the other. It all comes down to HTML. It all comes down to raw HTML. It doesn't matter if it's 10 divs created, before then there's a link. The point is that it's created through HTML, which AIs are constantly trained on. So I don't think there's necessarily a disadvantage from that perspective. I just think there's a disadvantage on the options available, like what Pinegrow, I was going to say Porngrow then. What Pinegrow are offering is this intersection with Claude Code and now Codex that it now works, and you just have that flexibility and that interoperability is something I'm very much in favor of. I don't like. I would recommend Webflow for a very select group of people if you want it to be all in one and easier to and whatever. But from my perspective, once it gets to a certain size, you probably want to think about moving away from something like Webflow, just because it's just going to hold you back. It's like a goldfish living in a goldfish bowl,
It depends on the scope and the needs, obviously.
Yeah. So anyway, I like to see that Pinegrow is still doing well. It has a special place in my heart, and UI aside, it's a pretty cool tool for building static and WordPress websites. So now we have the one you're looking forward to, Notion.
Yeah. You use Notion since are you a relatively new Notion user?
No, I was a very early adopter of Notion, but I've never paid for it, and I've tried to use it more since we got the subscription. Try and keep it as a core part, but it doesn't quite fit in. I just haven't found it hasn't found its place in my day-to-day. I try to even set it as my default calendar. I try to even set it as something that opens whenever I turn on my computer, so it automatically just opens up, but it's just not one of those things. And I bought a few operating system type of things. I've got like what do they even call it? Like an agency starter kit, client onboarding thing I bought off a mate, and it's just not really found its way. Anyway, that's not the news. This is not exciting. We can get into that in a bit. Yeah. I don't know what you, but I opened it up just like a few days ago, and I noticed that they've got an agent. They've got an agent available inside of. I knew they had the AI, which can answer questions and whatever. But an agent, as you've rightly described in the past, is an agent will let you do things. And I don't know, there's just something in me that says this is game changing. There's something about this just because Notion is so powerful. I know it's powerful. It hasn't found its way in my workflow, but it's so flexible. and it's got so many integrations. And I have a question about integrations, whether this will work with integrations. But the point is that an agent is just like the little thing. I'm not even sharing my screen. Sorry, I thought, boom.
Yeah.
An agent can do things. Anything you can do in Notion, the agent can do. And this will be a multi-step. This can execute multi-step workflows. So you can do this and then that, and input data and pull data and transfer data and things like this. I think this could be a productivity machine. And this is why I wanted to bring it to you, because you use Notion quite heavily. And I think, I don't know, what's your kind of instant response to this? Is this something you see yourself using?
I'm trying to see if I can like actually access it, because I see the AI.
Yeah, so it's just in the normal AI. It's just built into the normal AI. So what I did is I was in a Notion database, and I said, get all of the meetings that were titled this, because I have a weekly meeting with someone, and then build a tag cloud full of all the things we've discussed. And it just went ahead and did that for all the meetings that I had, all the database entries. So you should just be able to say it in the AI panel. It can do 20 minutes of autonomous work across hundreds of pages all at once, which is crazy. I think they even say that somewhere in this article. But what's really interesting is that they will custom agents are coming soon, which is really cool. So you can have, like, I think they've got a little graphic down here. That can you just fire off autonomously. So every time you input a specific, maybe it's a meeting.
It did it.
Yeah. What did it do for you?
So I asked it to. So we have a list of like video. We had a list of things to talk about, and I said, put them in the database, and it just did. So yeah, this is awesome. Like, I can talk to databases. This is what I want. The part of Notion and in general, like tools similar to Notion that I always hated. I mean, Jira. You have to work with like ugly and slow databases. In Notion, it's not ugly, but it's like you go through like so many hoops to do something. What if I tell it, create these tasks based on this meeting? So we have a meeting. Notion already has a meeting note taker. It takes the notes and it creates the list of the tasks. And then just with natural language, I can manage those. So this is actually amazing. If this is paid on top of what I'm paying, I probably will have to pay because
I think it's included in the AI. I mean, you just did it. So why would you need to pay?
Maybe it costs extra to
per call.
I don't know.
Something. Let me do the intro just because I think I messed that up getting too excited, and this can be edited in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, anything you can do in Notion can do with their latest update, which includes their new AI agent. So what's coming soon is like sub agent. So if there's a workflow that happens that every time you create one database entry, it copies it here, moves that, reframes it, do this, you can just have that fire off every time a new database entry goes in. So that's another example. Another one which I thought would be quite cool is they've got an MCP. So I don't know whether that's it says MCP integrations are here, so you might want to have a little look. Actually, I do think the Notion MCP is already there because I remember it coming up with the Cursor like App Store library thing that they released. So yeah, I mean, it kind of was already there, but maybe you can just get yourself scrubbed up on MCPs a little bit more. But yeah, either way. And here's the thing with Notion. I sort of feel like, again, as an infrequent user, I sort of need to relearn how to use it every time I open it up. Like, how do I create two calls? And, how do I add this and embed this and do this and do that? Now with natural language with an agent or the MCP server, I can just like tell it what I want, So yeah, I thought this was a really cool update. And again, with its powerful integrations that it has, I feel like there's something here. There's something really powerful here. If you can unlock it. You know what I mean? If you can unlock that aspect in your brain.
Yeah. Well, the bad news is I run out of free AI tokens. So if I upgrade, it costs $270.
Mate, but you've got Lemmies, so I wonder why I've got it free. Maybe
Well,
I did it
try
before.
use it because I used it, but I run out of it. So just
But
use it well.
I wondered about this at some point. I wondered what the AI is going on with my thing. And I think I got an email saying like, we've extended your AI usage until 2026 or something like this. So actually it's, I think I had previously done research and I've got I mean, again, I'm not using it that much, so I haven't pushed my limits, but yeah, $200, that's a lot.
Yeah, $270 for the AI. That's a lot.
Well, you got the MCP server, so give the MCP server a go and then see if you can do it from here, because you know how to set up an MCP. Try and do the same thing. Try and say do this and then move it here and do this and whatever. But yeah, pretty cool.
But it's quite sad that it's run out of the AI tokens so fast. Like like in the setting right now. But I'm not gonna pay for another AI on top of like the 50 AI that I'm
unless
already
it's really it's got to earn you money. As much as these tools are fun to play with, you've got to see a return on investment. So
yeah, it kind of will make our life with these videos easier. So
will it? Maybe I should. Maybe you need to add me as an admin. Maybe the $12 or whatever it is to add me as an admin or something like that might,
you have full access
to this page, but it might mean I don't know how it will work. But like me being an
we'll figure it out. I'll play around with it a bit.
Or it comes over to my side and I own all of it. Anyway, this is boring stuff. So episode 1 of the latest hot TV show just dropped. Okay, maybe that's not the next Lost, but Greg Eisenberg has just released part 1 of a docuseries titled Inside the 50 Trillion AI Gold Rush, and it's pretty good. Have you seen this at all? Have you seen anything to do with this?
No, but I'm interested. Why don't I know about this already?
I think it's going to be It's going to be one of 5 episodes. And do you know Greg Eisenberg?
No.
Okay, so
I think I know him, like not by name, but I think I know the YouTube face. I like that. Yeah.
He's got a weird face, but and he's done this in partnership. So this is the CEO of Bolt, Bolt.news. So I think it's actually something that's commissioned by them or whatever. There's Greg.
Yeah.
He makes loads of AI content and whatever, but this is a really interesting thing of how, well, I mean, it's basically kind of how it's kind of a background on him, mostly how he got kind of big. And basically he created the TikTok before TikTok was TikTok, and he got bought out or something like that. So it was part 1 was mostly to do with him. But it's a documentary on AI, and I'm really keen to watch it because like it's one of those things where we're still in it. We're still in the midst of it. And already there's been documentaries made on it. So they're pretty ahead of the curve when it comes to that. And I think, again, it's in partnership with Bolt, or Bolt has something to do with it. I don't know. Maybe it's like there you go. Sponsors are making this documentary possible. Bolt, and don't even know what Brexit is. Yeah, the vibe coding thing. But yeah, looking forward to tuning into this. It got literally this morning, I think, 24th of September. So, a couple of days ago.
When is the next episode drop? I need to decide if I want to watch it right now and wait for the next one, or just wait for all.
Doesn't say. Maybe go on his thing. Maybe he's already dropped it, as you kids say. Okay, yeah. So he's even released a video since that is not part of the series. So
2 days ago. So maybe it's a weekly thing.
Could be. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Something to tune into. Making history. We're in history right now. We're inside of. This will be spoken for millennia. And do you know what they're going to do? They're going to be like, Command AI. That was they were there. They nailed it. They were there before the rest of them. Big deal.
And everybody who's here watching, they'd be like, we were
53
there
people.
yeah.
You guys are making history right now. You're part of history.
It'd be like, we remember the rebrand. By the way, like most people don't know because we did it so early in the video, but that's fine. That's fine.
Cool. Next, any questions?
No.
No.
We have a few smaller things, I believe, to go through.
We're cruising through. Trying to think if we can skim through this. I mean, I really like the fact that Perplexity have launched their API. Now, this is something that I worked on an app to try and get Perplexity, because people say it's dead, but like Perplexity for me is one of the only AI with like a true IP. It's got really good, like it's got this layer on top of search, which is by far and away better. OpenAI just leveraged Google search, and you know when you used to use like Sonar, or you know when you used to use Perplexity, you could enable it to do web search, but it wasn't quite using the same system. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but literally today they've launched Perplexity API. Perplexity Search API. So you can leverage all the goodness that comes from Perplexity in your apps. So that's pretty cool. Quite expensive though. It's like $5 for 5,000 requests, per 1,000 requests.
Okay, that's quite expensive.
Yeah. Bearing in mind, we've got million tokens here. I mean, tokens get used up very quickly, but yeah. And what I don't know is because you can obviously have multiple sources, right? Perplexity goes off and gets multiple sources. Is that classed as one request, or is it per source? That's you know, whatever. I'm not too sure about that. So yeah, that's TBC, but pretty cool. I'm excited to tell my friend about that because he's trying to use it in his app. So that's that one. Copilot, and similar, actually, we spoke about a few things today, but did you see this? GPT Pulse. Yeah. So you talk about nightmares and dreams and stuff. So now GPT works while you dream, waking you up with a summary of topics, thoughts, and ideas based on your activity. So you wake up and it's kind of just been working away, pulls together a bunch of stuff that you might want to read about, might want to, you know, it's your daily news based on specific things you talk about. So this really leans into this ecosystem that you speak about. What are they offering that's unique to them?
Yeah.
You know, so
this is like cool. Morning brew.
Morning brew for you. Morning brew for you. GPT Pulse. Yeah. And yeah, but I think the only downside to this, I think, is it's kind of, you know, it's a duality where on the one hand, Sam is saying, don't reveal too much. Don't use it as a psychologist, this and that. But this kind of encourages you to be much more open because it works better the more open you are, the more things you talk about. So, but it's an interesting addition. I think this is an exciting USP that ChatGPT are offering. And do you pay for ChatGPT?
Yes, I do.
So you should have this then. You should
I haven't turned it on. I haven't checked it. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, like with what I can do with ChatGPT. I was fine with it, I don't know, 6 months ago, but today I'm not that happy.
It's a bit mid, isn't it?
It is. And have you tried to? It was also a trend to ask ChatGPT and any AI model to count from 1 to 1,000,000.
Oh yes, a video, right?
No, just like when you talk to ChatGPT.
No, there was a video. I saw a sketch.
Yeah, but I tried it as well.
Yeah,
I tried it many times, and I did all types of things to make it even get. No, it just straight up doesn't do it.
Yeah, there's it's not 1,000,000, it's cheeses. So this guy says, just tell me all of the cheeses, and it's like, okay, well, there's quite a lot, but you know, there's cheddar, there's gorgonzola, there's feta, and the list is massive. And he's like, yeah, tell me the list. Tell me
Yeah.
the list. Just tell me all. I go, okay,
So
well,
what
it's
is
quite big. Just this big
yeah?
loop.
So what is frustrating? You can you so if you ask ChatGPT to count from 1 to 1,000,000, it straight up refuses. If you already have a document, or if you already like chat with ChatGPT for like 20 minutes, you come up with a list of things, a CSV that like, I don't know, like 200 items in a list, and then you have it inside of the canvas, and you have like a long text inside of the canvas, and then you decide to change from chat to voice mode, and then you ask it to, okay, so you have this text already in the canvas, it's already generated or whatever, I'd write it, doesn't matter, we have this, can you read it for me? It just doesn't. It
Wow.
straight up doesn't read its own
What
text.
about writing code? Can you, because you can tell it to write code, can you say,
Yes,
can
you
you write a piece
can.
of code, every
Yeah,
second counts in increments and blah blah blah?
you can make it to write code, but when it comes to read, to like my frustration is with the conversational model that they have so much restrictions around how much of it you can use. You cannot, you can write a document with ChatGPT, but you can't talk to the model and say, okay, you wrote this, like, let's say, long email, now read it for me. It doesn't. It gives you a summary. It says, oh, so it's about this, and it tells you the start, and then the rest just wraps it up. Like, no, you don't wrap it up. Tell me everything that is in the doc. It straight up does not, and refuses. And I believe it's a hard limit they are putting on probably like the number, like the output tokens that you can get per conversation. And it's frustrating to me because like the actual use case for me is when I'm in the car and I'm driving, sometimes I feel like not listening to music or not listening to a podcast, but I do sometimes talk to ChatGPT to learn something. So let's say it's a concept in programming or something about history. You can say, okay, tell me about the history of World War One. How did it start? It tells you something and it wraps it up. Then you ask it to be linear and tell you like everything. It just starts to wrap things up, even though if you ask for details, and it fills it with filler words, even if you ask specifically to not use filler words. So I don't like that. I want it to be straight, and when I don't need filler words, just give me the straight facts. I want to talk about World War One and what happened in like a span. I know it has access to Wikipedia. It does this what was it, like the sound that it makes. So it goes on the web, and then it comes up with a summary that is nowhere near in the depth that I need. That's my frustration. It's not deep.
Yeah, you have got deep research mode though, right? Are you using that?
Yeah, so it does things if you ask it in a chat mode. Even though if you have you tried to make a CSV with like 500 entries, it comes back with like 50, and it's like, yeah, here's 500. So I do this for clients. We build a list of FAQs, or what's it called, glossary. So glossary or FAQs. So I have these like long docs from a client, or like from interviews that I do with clients. I just talk to them like this and then record the conversation and give it to ChatGPT, and we have now enough material. Then we do deep research, whatever, and now I want to create a list of 500 words for that specific niche, for that client, just 500 words with short definitions. I ask ChatGPT to do it. Every single time I get, I don't know, maybe 50, even if, and it's super inconsistent. It's not like it gives you a cap of 50. It gives you 60 or 70. And then you say, no, I asked for 500, do 200. It comes up with now a new list of 60 instead of 70 that I already had. It's like, here's 200. I'm like, you blind? This is not 200. And it just doesn't do this type of work. It doesn't.
Sorry, I don't know what to say, mate. That's really touched a nerve with you, hasn't it?
I don't like it because I'm paying and I
Yeah,
don't get
you don't get
this
your
kind of thing.
ROI.
No, I radio on
Save
the
your
internet.
money. Save your money. Buy Notion AI instead. But
ROI, radio on the internet. Who knows the reference? Just tell me, because I know you don't know the reference because you have not seen the show.
well, one day, maybe one day. I did see something to do with it today. Are they re-releasing it or something?
Yeah, you should search for Silicon Valley show and ROI. You will know why.
I saw something just before this call. Anyway, GPT
Yeah.
Pulse. And it can even remind you about when it has like calendar access and email access, it can remind you about like doing things in the day as well. So if you, again, the more you talk to it, the more you whatever, it will do things. I do wonder who the audience is for this, like who asked for this and what problem are they trying to solve with this? But it does look pretty fun.
Maybe they are throwing things and trying to see what sticks.
Have you got to shoot now?
A what?
Have you got to go? Have you got to go now?
Yeah, it would be best if I could,
Okay.
if we could wrap it up in a few minutes.
Yeah, I could continue, but yeah, if you need to go,
we can also do that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's GPT Pulse. If you're, let us know what you're going to use it for if you're paying for it, and I personally don't. So again,
I'm gonna open it and
have a little look. It'll be tomorrow morning maybe, or you have to enable it. You certainly have to enable it in the settings. So anyway, it's actually a bit nerdy this. So something I'm quite excited for is the new GitHub Copilot CLI. Now I don't use GitHub Copilot. Mainly because basically the name Copilot has lost all meaning, and the Copilot is like, it's so, I just don't know what it is anymore. But we do have Copilot CLI, which works with all your favorite AI subscriptions, plus a fancy banner intro that's making waves. So this little, maybe I should install it now whilst we're on the call, because it's quite cool. Oh, I should share my proper screen now, shouldn't I? Yeah. What I like about it is that it's kind of ambidextrous or ambiguous or whatever. How do I? Oh, okay, I've got to do this. Stop screen share. Boom. Share screen. Share window. We're all going to watch this together. Is that, again, it works with your Claude Code subscription. It works with your Codex subscription. It's kind of, it's like a Swiss Army knife, I guess. Let's do Copilot. Is that how you? Do you see that? That was cool.
It's actually small.
Do I need to make it bigger for you?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you have to go Copilot banner.
Oh,
see that?
Yeah.
Nice, isn't it? I think now if I just do Copilot, it doesn't do it. I need to literally pass. Yeah, I just need to pass that flag. So yeah, if you want to see the cool intro, you got to pass banner flag. Hey, yeah. And it's introducing a few things, which is quite nice. Let me just share my proper screen again.
How does that work, by the way, in a command line? How?
I don't know. I think it works on frames like JavaScript, and you just write. It just refreshes a certain amount of times, and you're just writing pixels to the screen.
I thought everything is a character there. So
yeah, well, exactly. This is just made up of characters. Well, maybe not ASCII characters, but I think you can have just blocks that take
different types of characters. Yeah.
So, there we go. They've been giving you instructions on how to launch it with the banner. But what I do like about this, what it seems like that is quite, it's just, I mean, the clue is in the banner. Like the UI is really, really well put together. They've got some talented UI designers on this thing, on the Copilot team or GitHub, whatever you want to call it. But what was it saying? I don't know. I'm keen to kind of use it. I'm keen to because it will work with Claude Code. Hopefully is more, universal in terms of like its feature set and whatever, and hopefully it can make some waves, because Anthropic has been the only like MCP servers, Claude MD files are probably one of the original sort of things, you know. Pretty psyched to use it.
Yeah, I'm pretty far from this for now, even though I want to, but
yeah, I wonder what. I mean, it's not. I mean, I still have Cursor open. You know, still use it for viewing my files and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just snobbery, you know, using the CLI. But it's just a nicer interface. I think I'm more focused. I'm less distracted. You know, if I use a CLI, I'm not looking at the code. I'm not like second guessing. I'm literally just thinking about my thoughts. I even used Claude Code in Copilot today, and I just didn't. Claude Code in Cursor today, and I just didn't like it. I just preferred. I don't know. I just preferred. I switched back. Oh wow, I will be switching back to the terminal. I think it's because I have no idea, to be honest. It's probably just snobbery. And then finally, which is really interesting, I haven't done an awful lot of research on this one, I'll be honest, but Apple have added MCP support in the latest version of iOS. So we haven't got this yet. It's beta 1 has been released, 26.1. MCP access, which is kind of crazy. And I wonder, is this a
what
sign?
can you do with it?
What does just quickly read it? Marcus, strategic move towards enabling agentic AI capabilities across its device ecosystem. So you can probably control your iPhone through an MCP server, or Tahoe or whatever. Maybe it's like an interoperability between your Apple devices or something like this. I don't know, but it's been released yesterday or day before. I haven't seen any videos go up about it or what people have been doing with it. But I just think that, focus on Apple's intense framework, which can allow Siri and the Shortcuts app to interact with third-party applications. So, yeah, not too sure about that. But I'm all for it.
That's what I want to ask, what it will mean for Siri.
I don't think it will. I don't know. I don't know how this would. Maybe it's... Yeah, I don't know, because Siri's shit. So why would you? MCP server is there to take requests based on natural language. So
exactly, so that you don't need Siri.
So it bypasses Siri. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but it still needs a model. It still needs a model to interpret the request, right, and then send it through. So God knows. Talking about model controller here. It's not really, but I'm just interested because this is a very unlike Apple move. They're all about the walled garden, and this is something that potentially could mean that you could interact with, maybe it's through, if it's in Tahoe, that it's like you can tell your computer to do things from Claude, turn the brightness down. I know it's a bit stupid, or turn the volume down, do this or do that sort of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It could it's just an interesting move from Apple, and that's why I thought I'd raise it. It's pretty cool.
Maybe they are also trying to see what works. I haven't used any MCP.
Well, you should use the Notion one.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
saying. I want actually to use the Webflow one. To do a bunch of like.
Why haven't you?
I don't know. I haven't, but because I'm busy building other things. I've been enjoying building Flowing. Like in the past 2 weeks, we've made so many updates, and I noticed there's so much work to do when it comes to building a product. And I'm like genuinely enjoying that. So I do work inside. Like yesterday, I built a animation using the new GSAP plugin. That things like this, small one. And then the other day, I was working on the 3D, and the other day on social. So a bunch of things like that.
Saying that, did you see Brad Huber? I've forgotten his name. Who's the guy who built Myagi? Bradford, is it? Bradford Huber? Yeah, got it. Do you see his announcement on Myagi? Or his statement on Myagi? Because we called it, right? We said that with all these updates, Myagi is like, you've got to replace it. And so he's made a statement here that they're basically decommissioning the kind of AI, or they're focusing less on the AI assistant aspect of Myagi, and they're going to be focusing more, I guess, on the more Slater aspects of it, or the coding aspects of it. So I like this. I like this, that the code editing and the hosting. So hosting is the Slater aspect of it, and the code editing, because I hate the code editor in
can you show like the beginning of it, please?
Not going to lie, this is how the last few Webflow comp says. So we shared an image of that. So Ampli was obviously his first.
Yeah. So now, honestly, like, I don't think the coding is the right call for them either. Maybe I should talk to him, because I have him in the DMs. I don't have like any first-hand information, but I'm 100% sure Webflow will add some sort of like proper coding. They did show us the coding that you can do to build components, and the component gen or something like this, and the app gen, and they did look like full-on like IDEs, but they were kind of like in a separate environment. But that doesn't matter. Like, what stops Webflow from giving us literally the same thing and just host the code as well, because we have Webflow Cloud? So yeah, I feel bad, like genuinely feel bad, because I've been there. I tried to build quite a few things, and I never got to the point to publish it, but I saw like Webflow essentially like, doing the same thing. And this will happen with every platform that is growing. This is still happening. Like, Apple is still like killing apps to even this day. There was a time, if you remember, you could download a torch, a flashlight app for your phone, because your phone, you're like Android and iOS, they don't have they didn't have a flashlight app natively. You could download an app for that. Now
this is what this comment is basically saying. It's like, when you're piggybacking off an existing product, they have all the data to see, oh, Myagi is getting a lot of attention, maybe we should do that. Oh, this flashlight app is getting millions of downloads, we'll just do it. Like, they can just eat up anything that succeeds,
Yes.
So yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of like there's an analogy somewhere where you're kind of giving them, there's something about giving them the gun that's going to shoot you, because if your app does well, they'll just consume it.
You have to be fast.
You have to be fast. You have to be really good, because you need to be so good that they're like, you know what? Let's just buy it. You want to be acquired, right? And Myagi was very well put together. It's very clean, well launched. The branding was good. I bet Webflow were well on their way to building. They already had the idea in mind. While Myagi was, has to be that new and that good that you get acquired. That's all you can hope for when building on top of another service.
I don't. Webflow has acquired. They did acquire this other tool, Optimize. What they called Optimize. Yeah. It was called something else. Anyway,
that wasn't built on top of Webflow, though, was it?
Yes,
that was a complete separate.
Exactly. Tool. When companies acquire, they either acquire the IP or like the code, or sometimes they acquire the team. They do this, by the way. In case of Myagi, they did actually acquire, not exactly, but they did hire the developer who helped him build the app.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah,
Xatom, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like
That
as
must have been quite hard for Bradford to. I don't know what the relationship was like between Bradford and Vikram, but
yeah,
yeah,
I
that
don't. Yeah, I I don't wish to be in either of their places, honestly. Um, this happens with these platforms all the time.
yeah,
And
and
you
it's the
can be
importance
either
one.
fast or you have to build something that is beyond just the value that provides in this like I'm thinking about the same thing with flowing, right? I'm building essentially a component library. I'm thinking, okay, what is my winning condition, or like the what is going to help me win if Webflow, if any Webflower can, or like with any other platform, you can just type in something with AI. So with us, it would be will go higher in the level of complexity, and something where AI is super duper duper lacking is like very nice, specific, bold design. And this is the route that I'm going with. So we'll see. I don't know, but that's how I see it. But I wouldn't. I started building a comment app, by the way, for Webflow when quite a long time ago. It was like 2 years ago. I started actually, like we had like actual code written like with iCode for it, but then we stopped because we like Webflow mentioned it or something like this, that
The writing was
they,
on the
they
wall.
hinted at it. They hinted at it, and I was like, no, that we're not going to do this because Webflow will do it and nobody will use our tool. And now Webflow has a very proper commenting system. It's not announced. It's announced, not published yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I know that I won't need any apps anymore, even though we had like multiple apps in the Webflow apps app store for commenting.
Yeah. Like you say, you either have to build something that is completely like look at Wiz as an example. That seemed like something Webflow could just snap up because it's so outside of what Webflow do and so beneficial to people, regardless of my own personal feelings about it. The best you can ask for in that instance is it's so good that it stays separate and Webflow will never touch it, or you get acquired.
Well, I don't know. I agree on everything you say, right? But but do you remember Wiglot?
yes, the language thing.
Yeah, I feel bad for Wiglot. Man, they were sponsoring Webflow. They were like so active in the space. They were the go tool for translation. And I believe even Webflow was supporting them in like marketing way. I don't exactly know what was like behind the curtains, but it seemed like there was a partnership. And Webflow came up with their own translation tool set that is less expensive, more convenient. It's better. It's just a killer feature. Who needs Wiglot anymore, especially in the Webflow space? So Wiglot had to pivot, not pivot, but like now they do it for other apps as well. They do integration for every other website platform as well. And Myagi should probably do the same thing, to be a tool for like designers and builders to build tools maybe for whatever they need.
Yeah. Well, they're banking on what Bradford's saying here is that they're banking on the coding aspect, providing a interface.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but potentially a better interface than Webflow can provide. But shame to see it. But we saw it coming. We called it,
We did see it coming.
I guess we didn't just dig into what that might mean for Myagi.
What I didn't see coming was their lead developer being hired by Webflow.
Yeah, no.
That I didn't see coming.
But I don't think he's a developer. I think he's like developer advocate, which advocates,
I don't know.
They're not, they haven't got much. They're just someone who's out there speaking fondly of the
Yeah,
development.
is it like a community thing? Probably.
Yeah, I don't think he's contributing towards Webflow. So
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows? Maybe speak to him, but
yeah, probably a community thing.
Mm.
Probably similar to Keegan.
He's actually making videos for them, and
yeah, but he's developer. I maybe he contributes to the code that goes on the front end on the site. Maybe not engineering type of things. That's how I see it. Probably he's on the community or like marketing arm of the company.
Because I don't think Keegan actually has he's not a hardcore. He's good for like animations, but I don't think he's a hardcore developer like Vikram is. I think Vikram's
I don't think so. Yeah. I think he has like more general purpose knowledge.
Yeah. Anyway, that's this week's Command AI.
Yeah.
I've been Sam Gregory.
And here I have
Here I have hair.
Here I don't have air. I don't have food. I'm hungry. Here I am. Here I was Kabarza. I'm no more. I'm hungry now. No. Yeah. Well, thank you for everybody tuning in and watching. We have 61 people in total, and on my Instagram, I think like the Instagram views are not shown. We had a lot of people joining and tuning in, and we had more than usual comments. So thank you for everybody commenting. So I was engaged like with the comments. So
very good, cool. All right. Well, tune in next week. Look out for the new branding.
Well, before we go, sorry. Before we go, let's just show it again. No, not this. This. We have this new branding. You probably seen the YouTube thumbnail. I hope you've seen it. But yeah, more to come. This is not a sneak peek. This is kind of like a reveal, but we have like proper ways to show it, also to show off the new brand. So I'm super excited about it. And
give us a subscribe over on YouTube, even if you don't watch us there. Give us a subscribe over on YouTube. In fact, do you know what we can do? We can do? We can go boom, and then we can go boom. Give that a scan.
That's cool.
Give that a little scan. That's linking to our YouTube. Give us a subscribe. Maybe we can even leave that up. Maybe they need a title thing. They need a title thing alongside that, don't they? To say what the QR code is.
Yeah.
And then we could just leave it. We could just leave it there.
I wouldn't. Like my designer is like no. But that was this week's AI design and dev. We had a lot to talk about, and this was it.
Keep on vibing.
Peace out.